So I grew up eating in the restaurant.
That's a small
because
world.
I was on the swim team.
Yeah.
And we would swim Decatur in our Tennessee Valley Conference. So I grew up eating your barbecue potatoes with white sauce and red sauce. And so I'm very familiar.
Jasper, yeah, you're a neighbor, man.
Yeah, it's only like an hour away.
So what took you to Texas?
Well, I was living in Chicago, working just like Lauren. I worked in Chicago, and jobs opened up in Phoenix and Austin, and I just kind of flipped the coin and moved to Texas. Went home, went to Bama, bought a car, and drove to Texas.
Austin's a cool place.
It really is. So then I just started blogging soon thereafter. I've always been interested in barbecue, and I'm particularly interested in why Texas, everything's better in Texas. So I started blogging about it.
All right.
Been there ever since, going on 3 years now, and the blog's kind of turned into this huge group of guys and girls. We'll take 20, 25 people on a Saturday outing. We'll hit up 1, 2, 3 places. We do reviews, rankings, give out best of awards. We moved into events, all kinds of stuff. I mean, just kind of sponsorships and whatever. It's just kind of taking off. So we're starting this thing called the Q Card, where we're going to sell it around the state, and you get discounts at barbecue restaurants all around the state. So that's my buddy Brad. He's my roommate. He does all the
How's it going?
Good to see you.
He's on the blog, and he does all the artwork and graphics. And just thought we'd come to some May for the first time. And got media passes.
What do you think so far?
Having a good time. So we were a little delayed last night, so we got in late. But we just spent the whole day here. We just got fed by the folks down at Notorious PIB.
Okay.
So yeah, it was our first interview of the day. We're gonna do some more later probably, but I'm happy to do this. This is really nice. Meet somebody from home.
Just take it all in.
Yeah.
Take it all in.
So you're a celebrity. I see you on TV all the time, all the Food Network and all that
Get
good
out.
stuff.
We're doing a lot of traveling.
Totally. So what's your schedule like? What's your
This week?
No, just in general. I mean, like,
Oh, okay.
How often do you do competitions? How often do you do the restaurant?
I do about
Media events?
I do about now it's about 2 competitions a year. That's it. The last couple of years, I do the Memphis and I do the American Royal in Kansas City.
I was thinking of Kansas City.
So yeah, both huge events. Every once in a while, I'll sneak in another event. This year, I think we're going to try to do Dillard, Georgia, which is up in the mountains, sort of North Hills.
Yeah,
North Georgia.
Yeah, North Georgia.
And it's a fantastic event. There'll be about 70 cookers there.
Okay. Have you ever done the Big Pig Jig?
Never done a Big Pig Jig. The date is always conflicting.
Sure.
Yeah. But used to when we first started, we do 7 or 8 contests a year, so we never did some teams are out there doing 30, 40 contests a year. We've never done that. But hopefully I had 2 kids in high school and they're involved in activities and stuff. So, it's one of those indicators. So, with baseball and basketball. So, I would almost rather go watch them, definitely, play their sports and hang out as go run the circuit. But they're getting older and it's allowed me to have a little more free time on my
So you're normally in the restaurant?
Normally in the restaurant unless I'm traveling. So we do about 2 contests a year.
Right. But
other things I do, some of my favorite events are the South Beach Wine and Food Festival. Okay. I've done that about the last 5 years. That's last weekend in February. Phenomenal event. I do an event called Barbecue, champagne and barbecue on the beach. How good is that?
Wow.
And the weather's usually about 80 degrees in February, so
this
it's
is South
great.
Beach.
South Beach, yeah. Another fantastic event is the Big Apple Barbecue Block Party. That's the second weekend in June. Middle of Manhattan. They closed down Madison Avenue.
I just got an email about it this week. My buddy's going to go, yeah.
Oh, it's a great.
Are you going to do that this summer?
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, I need to tell my buddy.
I've done that one every year since it started, so this has got to be the 6th or 7th year, probably 7th, 8th year.
Right, I think it's 8th. I think this is their 8th annual.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. So as far as competitions, it's 2, but there are other big events where you'd be on display or cooking or
definitely
doing sort of things.
This year, going to Aspen Food and Wine Festival. I'm doing promotion with a wine company out there. Bonfi Wines, Trevino. They do a lot of Malbec from Malbec wines. It's really good. Yeah.
So we got South Beach, New York, Aspen. Your life's pretty rough.
It's one of those things that I tell people, if I go to an event and I don't have fun, I don't go back the next year. But if I have a good time, I'm there.
Totally.
I'm there. It's an annual trip for me.
So what's business like in the restaurant right now, particularly with the economic downturn? Is that put a dent?
Business is good. It's one of those things. Barbecue is not your high ticket item.
Right.
It's not
People
like tablecloth. Exactly. So when the economy turned down, our price point is low enough where our business stayed steady, and in some points it actually jumped, it increased. Where it hurt us was price point, as far as we're in a position we can't raise prices, but then all of our cost of goods started going up. So our margins were thin for a little while, but it's one of those things. The business was good, so we hung in there, and now everything's fine.
And I imagine you get a good bit of number of customers who see you on TV and they're in Decatur or whatever, they want to come in and meet you. Can you get a sense of how many people that come in are not your regulars, but your people that are passing through because they know who you are?
That's a great thing about all the stuff that I do, on camera and all the magazine, newspaper articles. A lot of customers at Big Bob Gibson's are people who are traveling in to Decatur just because of the barbecue. As a matter of fact, the Chamber of Commerce, the lady called me the other day and said that we were the #1 tourist attraction in Decatur, which is hard for me to believe, a barbecue restaurant.
I don't find it hard to believe at all, because I think one thing we found in our blogging is barbecue appeals to so many people on so many levels, and whether it's pork or beef or whatever, you can reach a lot of people, particularly if you're on things like the Food Network or whatnot. You're going to reach a large audience, and people want to go find out the best places to eat. It's really neat. #1 tourist attraction in Decatur, Alabama, right here. We get them one-on-one here at Memphis in May. So tell us about these. These are just your normal pork ribs.
There is absolutely not a whole lot special about these ribs, other than they just came off the cooker.
They're hot. Okay.
I've got a couple different ribs today that I'm doing. This is just a dry rub and a sauce.
Yep.
That's basically it. But then I have another rib that we're about to put on that we're going to treat it like a competition rib. And that's there definitely is a difference. I'm using the same rub, the same sauce, which is our Big Bob Gibson Championship red sauce, but I actually work during the process to layer more flavors. So this one right here, dry rub, cook it, sauce it at the end, caramelize the sauce, it's ready to go. I've got another rib that's about to go on. It's a first stage dry rub, put it on for 2 hours, pull it, do a light coat of a sauce, a little vinegar, a little acidity there, and then I put a second application of dry rub. I go back on for 20 minutes, and then I'll pull it off, wrap it, I'll drizzle a little pineapple juice and a little balsamic vinegar and a little garlic in there, wrap it up, put it back on for about another hour, pull it, and then do 2 more applications of sauce. And that is typically, something that we would consider serving in a competition.
So early on you got the glaze that's kind of bookended by the dry rubs, and then later on after you take it off, you do a couple more of the wet sauce on it.
Exactly. We want to just layer. We just want to layer flavor after flavor after flavor. So people ask me, what's the difference between a competition rib and one you serve at the restaurant? It's the same flavor profile, same rubs, same sauces, but in competition we have to work to layer more flavors in there, so you get a rib that stands out, because everybody out here has a good rib.
Sure. And I imagine, your time constraints also at a restaurant seem like they'd be something that would keep you from spending an entire day adding layer. Maybe I'm wrong on this, I don't know.
You're exactly right, but I'll bring out one more point. To serve a true, overly powered, rich barbecue rib in the restaurant, it would get old after a while. It's one of those things where in competition I'm working in 1 or 2 bites. I want to blow that judge's mind.
Right.
If you serve a large rib plate with 6 ribs or a whole slab to a customer, by the end of that, his head's going to be just
absolutely
ringing. It's so rich, the flavors are so it's basically hit you in the mouth.
So you're preparing for that 1 bite basically.
1 or 2 bites, that's what I want. I want heavy impact. They're almost too rich to serve every day in the barbecue restaurant.
Because in the restaurant you want a meal.
You got it.
You want to eat a whole meal.
You got it.
A couple other things. I know you got it. Things I do. So I grew up in Jasper, Alabama, like I told you.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
We're totally neighbors. Grew up eating in this restaurant. So I'm used to pork. And one of the I catch a lot of grief in Austin because it is a beef steak, as you know. It's brisket every way you turn, right? And you can get pork ribs. Occasionally you can get some pork shoulder or pulled pork. But it is beef, and it's a totally different animal. Have you ventured into the brisket smoking, or have you always stuck with pork, or what are your thoughts on Texas barbecue?
Love Texas barbecue. Love traveling to Texas. Texas not only rich in history, but it's well deserved. You know, when you start talking about barbecue, love the brisket, love the sausage. Definitely love the things that they do there. As a matter of fact, we're serving beef brisket in our restaurant every day now,
really?
And it's because of the passion and love that I have for brisket.
How about that?
We started doing brisket on competitions, and we started doing extremely well with brisket. We won the American Royal with brisket before and done well at Jack Daniels with brisket. And it was through the trial and error on competition which gave us a product that was successful in competition. We could take it back to the restaurant. So I not only use these competitions as a chance to build a platform for success and to venture out in other things, but I use it sort of as an experimental type. I cook here. If the judges like it, if the people like it, then I'll say, hey, you know, my customers might like it, so I'll make some adjustments and serve it every day.
So you've won the brisket in Kansas City.
Yes.
Big Bob Gibson's in Morgan County, Alabama, has won the brisket in Kansas City. That's pretty interesting.
I'll give you one more. Being a Texan, you might appreciate this. Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You familiar with that one?
It's a big deal, yeah.
It's definitely a big deal. That has got to be one of the hardest contests to get into ever. It's the same people, and they have their spots, and they don't give them up because it's such a
fully entrenched. Right?
Oh yeah. So I think the only way for an outsider to get in that contest, it used to be two ways: to win the Jack Daniels World Championship, or a couple of years they had a big Jamaican Jerk International Barbecue Contest in Jamaica, in Montego Bay, and I traveled there and was fortunate enough to win that, which gave me an automatic to Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show. And I went out there, me and my brother. I had the little bitty cooker smoking over there, the little Jetmaster. We put that in the back of our trailer truck, went over there and had this little 10 by 10 tent. That's all we had. We set up, people laughed at us all week because
everything's bigger in Texas, Chris.
Absolutely.
Big.
You know, they had the circus tents with the saloon fronts and the guards at the door and the, you know, and the big balconies, you know, and you know, free food, and everybody had their own live music and everything. And people would walk by our booth and see one little cooker and one little tent, and they didn't see us because we were at all the other parties the whole week.
Right. You want to be around the farm too?
Yeah. So that contest is great in that you bring two of whatever you're going to cook, and we picked ribs. We cooked 2 slabs of ribs and spent a week in Texas. One for preliminaries, one for finals. We made finals, won ribs, and get this, did not get to go back the next year.
No. They don't want you coming back, ruining that, what they've established over time. Man, that's really funny. The pattern, the theme I'm seeing here is win, 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 and that's awesome. Last thing I'll ask you is this. So I'm a graduate of the University of Alabama. I live in Austin, Texas. It was a dicey time in early January because all my friends are Longhorn fans. I seriously thought I'd have to move if we lost because I couldn't endure the constant ribbing. So we won, right? But people want a rematch, and I don't know that we'll get a rematch on the football field, but I'd like to extend to you an invitation. If you'd like to come to Austin or somewhere in Texas, we're fortunate enough through these 2 years in the vlog to have these good relationships with the pit masters. We'd love to find one that, you know, would be a good challenger for you, and maybe have a BCS rematch at Texas versus Alabama, and we could figure out all the details later, but the offer is open. We'd love to have you come to Texas and have a little kind of a non-gridiron rematch.
That is something I would love to do for one reason. It would give me an excuse to go back to Austin.
Well, we'll have you whenever you want to come back.
Awesome, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks, man.